So I was just saying that we're going to do a little bit of work at the wall today for our core, and this would be our L shape at the wall. And this one tends to be a little bit tricky on the shoulders, but it's a good core strength activity, and it is actually prep for handstand. Doesn't mean that we're going to do a handstand, but it's prep for handstand. And I actually think that this is harder than handstand. However, it's easier to approach and you can easily step down out of it, or you can easily stay in just a short stance down dog and not even come up to L shape at the wall. So with that in mind, just make sure that you're somewhere close to a wall and we'll get started. So I'm going to mute everybody now. And for those of you who don't typically join me, I have a couple of new people on here that I don't think I've seen before, unless it's, the name of a spouse or a roommate or something. Make sure that you have props handy. So something that resembles blocks where you can bring the floor up. It could be a stack of books, it could be a stool, could really be anything that just brings the floor a little closer to you. A pillow or bolster and a blanket are handy things to have for all of my practices. But then take a comfortable seat, and I'm sitting up on a blanket here because my hips are tight. So elevating your hips a little higher so that your low back can have a little bit of release and relief is a nice thing to do for yourself. So take the time to find a comfortable seat, and it does not have to be sitting cross-legged. It can be whatever feels comfortable in your body. And then as you press down gently into your legs, lift up through your sides, let your shoulders move up and back, and then take a moment here to move side to side through your head and neck. As you take your head side to side, you get to check in with sides of your neck, back of your neck, upper back, shoulders, really an opportunity to check in with a lot of things. Just notice for yourself any stiffness, any aches, any pains. Or maybe you're saying, wow, I feel really open today. I love it when I get to say that. So as you come back into center, shoulders are up and back again. Lengthen the back of your neck, let your eyes close. And take a moment here with about 5 full deep breaths to simply let yourself tune into being present right here, right now, on your mat, in your space. Allowing your breath to move evenly in and out of your nose. And because this time of year, as mentioned, is that time where we tend to maybe start to develop allergies or have just a little bit more mucus buildup, let's do a little work through the chest with our Bastrika breath. We did this last week. This is to do a little clearing, and it's like revving an engine. You can open your eyes if you would like to, or you can keep them closed. The idea is you'll have some big movement through your shoulders to round through your upper back and your chest as you make a sound at the back of your throat on the exhale. So it's an inhale naturally. Exhale, revving that engine at the back of your throat. Okay, so we'll take 6 of these. Inhale naturally. Exhale, rev. You might find that you have to clear your throat a little bit after that. Perfectly natural, good way to get things moving. So now take hands together at your heart. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. And now tuck your chin in, bowing towards your heart. You can allow your eyes to softly open here if you would like to. Again, release your hands down. Shoulders are up and back. Give a little shake of your head toward the ground, clearing through the back of your neck and the sides of your neck. And then as you come back up to center tall through your spine, take your left fingertips to the floor beside your hip, reach your right arm up and over your ear, and from this place, push with your left fingertips, move your ribs out to the right side. Take 1 full breath. Inhale, come back into center. Right fingertips to the floor, left arm reaches up and over your ear. Take a big breath as you push with your right fingertips. Expand your ribs to the left. Inhale, back up to center, and now bring fingertips to connect in the front. Press, and as you exhale, round back through your upper back. Chin tucks in. Take a full big breath. Then inhale, sit tall, bring your hands behind to clasp, and as you press your palms together, lift your shoulders up and back. Take a deep breath. Releasing your hands, switch the cross of your legs, and as you find that second side, it might be a little bit more uncomfortable, so make yourself comfortable. Maybe sit up higher or put something underneath your knees. And then walk your fingertips forward. And again, you can always be up on something here. Bring the floor closer if you would like. Find a little ease there in your pose. Exhale, round your spine back into your cat-like pose. Your chin tucks in. Add a little movement here through your sides, moving through your shoulders, lengthening from hip to armpit on each side. Then inhale all the way back up to a tall spine. Take right ear over to your right shoulder. Move your left shoulder blade down your back a few times. Inhale back up to center and exhale left ear to left shoulder. And again, move your right shoulder blade down your back a few times. Inhale back up to center. And now this time we're clasping our hands in front, pull forward with your arms. Again, round back through your spine, your chin tucks in. This time add some big movement side to side, starting to get a little further into your lats, down further into the sides of your back. Then inhale, sit tall, bring hands behind to clasp again. Press palms together, lift shoulders up and back, and then you're hugging your elbows back toward each other, remembering to keep your joints unlocked. As you take a big breath here, think of your low ribs lifting up, but then exhale and engage your low ribs. Think of cinching them in together. Inhale, lift your rib cage up, and exhale, low ribs draw in. Helps to fill into that kidney area in your back as well. Release your hands now, come forward onto hands and knees. And from hands and knees, we're gonna set ourselves up into our strong place through our shoulders. So rotate elbow pits forward and push from your shoulders and your heart out through your hands. Tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog pose. From this place, you're staying rotated with your elbow pits so that they're turning forward. And inhale, lift your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Take a big deep breath and notice low belly and low ribs pulling in, so you're expanding into your back body. Take another full breath and push further through your hands. And then set your right foot down. Inhale, lift your left leg. And again, find that rotation so your elbow pits are turning forward and push. Strong press, engage low belly and low ribs. Exhale, left foot comes to the ground. Inhale, right leg lifts, and you can always be on your left knee here. Turn open with your hip, and as you do so, notice your left knee, how much it wants to turn to the right side. Keep it aimed straight ahead, even as you open up with your right hip. Take a deep breath, strong shoulders, push from your lats out through your hands. Exhale, set right foot on the ground. Inhale, lift your left leg. And again, strong through your shoulders. Find that rotation of your elbow pits and push. Turn open with your hip, but don't let your right knee turn to the left. Take a big deep breath. Push a little more. Exhale, left foot comes to the ground. And then walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, now pause, knees are bent. Think of stacking shins straight up and down. Send your sitting bones back and up. Extend your heart, and now tone, low belly, low ribs. And now reach your arms, take a big deep breath, lift and spread your toes, extend your collarbones forward. Tone, low belly, low ribs. Good. Now as you inhale and rise up, squeeze your glutes for support. Reach your arms all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands come to your heart. Close your eyes and take a moment for a full deep inhale and exhale. Inhale, stretch up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Plant fingertips. You might use blocks here for your fingertips or fingers on the floor. Step your right foot back into your lunge and push with your feet. Push down into the floor to bring yourself upright with your torso. Center with your hips and reach. Take a big deep breath here. Find that rotation of your upper arm bones as if you're trying to turn your elbow pits almost back behind you. Take a full big inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, tone, low belly, low ribs. Full big breath. Exhaling, hands come down to the front of your mat and step back to a down dog for just a moment. Little bend to your knees, tilt your sitting bones up. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Inhale, come forward into your plank pose. Feel free to use knees on the ground here if you would like to. But again, rotate elbow pits forward and push. Extend your heart. Take a big breath and let your breath fill up your back body. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, lift your right leg to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward in between your hands. Bring hands up to your hips to rise and center with your hips. From this place, push down with your hands onto your hips and lengthen from hip to armpit. Shoulder blades engage and then stretch. Again, rotate your arms, finding that external arm bone rotation. This is going to be a really helpful thing when we come to our L shape to broaden your upper back and even think about making space through the collarbones. Exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat, step back, plank pose. Again, knees can always come down. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Extend your front long. Take a big breath, fill up your back body. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Deep breath. And now walk your way forward, coming into your forward fold at the front of your mat. Take an inhale and lengthen part way. Exhale, fold over your legs. Bent knees, squeeze your glutes. Inhale, reach your arms and rise all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Close your eyes, take a full big breath. Inhale, reach your arms out long. Exhale, cross left elbow over your right to come to eagle arms here. And if eagle arms is a bit much for your shoulders, come back to back or take a hug. Whatever feels the best in your shoulders today. So lift your elbows up to shoulder height. Draw shoulder blades onto your back and even think of tops of shoulders going broad. From that place, low ribs pull in. Inhale, lift up with your elbows, lift up with your chest. And then release your arms. Give your arms a little bit of a shake. And then reach your arms out long. And now wrap right elbow over your left. Again, either for eagle, back to back, or hugs, whatever feels the best. Lift elbows up and draw shoulder blades onto your back. Tops of shoulders broad. And then as you start to lift your elbows and lift your chest, engage your low ribs, pull them in. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, low ribs engage. Inhale, back up to center, release your arms and give them a shake. Next, inhale, stretch up. And exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale and fold. Planting fingertips, you're stepping left foot back this time into your lunge. Inhale, reach up and rise. Center with your hips. As you settle into your front knee, find length through your sides. Find that external arm bone rotation. Remember, elbow pits are trying to turn back. And now, broaden tops of shoulders. Tone low belly, low ribs. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, now take your left hand to your right knee or thigh, right hand to your hip. Use your right hand at your hip to help you remember to move it back in space, and then settle deeper. Inhale, lift through your sides. Exhale, low ribs in to help you twist. And from here, if you would like, you can reach your right arm straight out from your shoulder. Full big breath. Use your exhale to help you twist from your low ribs. Next, exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. Plant your hands in, step back, plank pose. Again, knees can always come down. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. Extend your front. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, curl up and open through your shoulders first. And then you might rise up to a higher cobra if that's in your practice. But big expansion through your collarbones. Exhale, downward facing dog pose. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, left foot steps forward in between your hands. Push down and rise up. And as you rise up again, rotate your arms, center with your hips. Settle in, take a big inhale and grow longer. Exhale, engage the core. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, take that twist. Right hand comes to your left knee or thigh. Left hand helps you to move your hip back in space. Lift your sides, lift your heart. Exhale, low ribs in. Maybe stretch your left arm straight out from your shoulder, not trying to reach it back behind you, but in line with your shoulder joint. Take a big deep breath. Let the twist happen from your low ribs. Exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat and step back. Downward facing dog pose. Take one big breath. Lower knees down, hips to heels. Take a child's pose. And now we're going to make our way over to the wall, and you can make the choice not to do this pose. You can make a choice not to do any pose, right? But we're going to take our L shape at the wall, and I'm going to demonstrate it. You can just watch, you can join me, whatever feels the best to you and whatever feels the safest to you. Tendency in this pose is to feel like you're going to fall over, but first, your feet will probably come to the ground instead, okay? So as you come to the wall, you're going to come to sit with your hips against the wall, so you get to measure. And then lengthen your legs out in front of you. So hinge your way back. Feet are out in front of you, and so your palms are going to go the distance away that your heels are, but they're going to go shoulder distance apart. So here's where my heels are. I'm going to take my hands about the same distance, but shoulder distance apart. And then I'm going to really plug in with the four corners of my palms. From my hands and knees now, I'm pushing with the fingertips, grabbing the floor. Rotate elbow pits and push. Then lift up into a short stance down dog. You might stay right here, and that is perfectly okay. Rotate elbow pits forward and push. And then maybe step one foot up to about hip height. Maybe step the other foot up to about hip height and work toward that L shape, pushing feet into the ground or into the floor, wall, whatever it is. Push hands into the ground. Pull your low belly in and your low ribs in. And then step one foot down and the other foot down. Then come all the way down with your knees. And maybe take a child's pose. As you take a moment to rest, just give yourself the information. Notice what was hard. Notice what the energy is like. You might feel a lot of sensation, especially through the head. This is what happens when our head aims toward the ground. It even happens a little bit in down dog. You might not feel it as much, but it's there. So we're going to take this one more time if that feels okay, but you can always choose down dog instead. You can choose to maybe hold a plank pose instead. So make a choice for yourself that feels the best in your body. And with this one, if you decide to come back to that L shape, you're welcome to lift a leg away from the wall and then put it back and then lift the other leg away from the wall if you would like. If you wouldn't like, that's okay. So for me, I have to measure again because I'm not sure how far away I was before and realize that it feels too close, okay? But it's not too close. The L shape, the pike, if you've ever done gymnastics or cheerleading, is a really strong, hard place to be. So rotate elbow pits forward and push, then tuck your toes and lift your hips up, downward facing dog pose. Stay rotating with your elbow pits and push. And then maybe walk one foot to the wall, maybe the other foot to the wall, push. You're pushing into the wall and into your hands. If you'd like, you can lift a leg and maybe put it back on the wall and lift the other leg. And maybe put that back on the wall. And then step feet down, knees down, child's pose. Give your wrists a break. Set your head down if that feels good. And take a big breath. Good. Very gently bring yourself back upright. Sometimes this is where a head rush happens, so gently. And then you're gonna make your way back onto your mat if you're not already there. And let's give our shoulders a little love here. So whatever you're using for props, out in front of you. And we're gonna take our hands out to the edge of our props. And it can be a bolster, be a stack of books, all the way out to the edge so your fingers wrap over the edge. And then you can let your head rest. And it can be all the way down onto the ground, or it can just be hanging. Take a couple big breaths. Breathe into that space in between your shoulder blades. You might add a little bit of shifting here through your hips for a moment, but then have the intention to come to stillness. And then gently bring yourself all the way back upright. And now create a base for yourself with your left leg. So your knee bends in front of you if that's comfortable. You can be sitting up a little higher here if you want to, up on a blanket or a bolster. But then we're picking up our left leg, just kidding, our right leg, and holding on to our knee and foot. If that's in your practice, and if that's just a little too close to your body, you can always roll up your blanket and use your blanket around your leg to hold on, okay? Or if you have a strap, you can always use your strap as well, all right? So wherever that is, give your foot a flex and then rock. A little side to side rock here. And now right hand comes to the outside of your right foot. You're turning your right foot forward. So this is like a seated version of a half happy baby pose. From this place, you can always have your blanket around your foot to hold on here instead if you want. You're going to create a little pull back and a push forward, so some resistance. Left fingertips help you to sit up tall, so push into the floor behind you and lengthen your spine. Take a big deep breath. And from that place, if it's in your practice, you might extend your right leg out long and straight, or as straight as it can be without locking your knee joint. So you can tell by whether or not you end up with a bulge behind the back of your knee. A little unlocking of the joint there. Take a big inhale and lengthen further. Exhale, flex your foot. So draw your toes back toward your knee. And then bend your knee and create that base with the right foot or the right leg. And then pick up your left leg. Flex your foot, and again, you can hold on to it however you need to. That could even be maybe wrapping your arms around to hold it close if that feels really good to you, or holding your knee and foot, or using your blanket. But sit up tall and rock. And now holding on to the outside of your left foot. Again, you're turning your leg, so foot is forward, knee is back. Right fingertips behind you to help you sit taller, and then create a push and a pull. Push your foot in, pull back with your hand. Lift your chest. Even lift all the way from your sacrum. Take a big deep breath. And now it's up to you if you'd like to work your leg towards straight, getting that little extra hamstring stretch here, because we didn't do a ton with hamstrings today. Take a big full breath. And again, remember, not hyperextending. Use your fingertips behind you to help you sit even taller. And then gently bend your knees. Let's bring soles of feet together in front of us, knees open, and you can always set props underneath your knees here. But take a moment to sit tall wherever you need to press or hold on to lengthen your spine. And then reach out through your thighs. And then walk footprints to the floor, and you're going to lay all the way onto your back and make sure you have everything handy, all your props, all the things. As you lay down, knees drawn into your chest and rock side to side. And then knees open wide and your feet up toward the ceiling. Hold on first around the back sides of your thighs. And then tilt your pelvis so your sitting bones are moving down. From that place, now you can walk your hands up your legs as far as you need to go for your happy baby pose. But just remember that tilt of your pelvis. If you reach all the way up to your feet and your sitting bones tilt up, then move down a little ways. And then rock a little side to side, just gently. And then soles of feet come to the ground, and your choice. You can set a pillow or bolster underneath your legs. You could always come to a butterfly with blocks underneath your knees. Come to a blanket over the top of you or rolled up underneath your neck. Come to a really comfortable spot for your shavasana, your final rest. Make yourself comfortable, let your eyes close. And after a couple of moments of moving, let yourself settle. Let yourself come to some stillness. Allow yourself to soak in the work that you've done. Bring awareness back to your breath. Gently bring movement to fingers and toes. Bend your knees and make your way over to one side. Take a moment for a full breath on your side. And then slowly push yourself back up to a seat. And place one hand over the other on your heart. And with your eyes closed, take a minute to notice. Take just a moment to notice sensations, your energy, whatever's present in your body and in your mind. Have a very peaceful and beautiful day. Namaste.